Hello from MiaProva. We've got some exciting updates. Google just published our recent update to our Chrome extension, and it's a big one. We updated our Chrome extension to support Manifest v3, which is something Google is doing for additional privacy and security, all great stuff. But we also brought a bunch of additional functionality to it, including support for Adobe Web SDK. We've always supported AT.js and continue to support AT.js with this update, but now we fully support Web SDK. We have a new network panel that I'm excited to show you, where we not only highlight Adobe Target Server calls, but also Web SDK requests, whether it's part of CJA or other tools of the Adobe Experience Platform. Then we put search functionality on top of that. We also brought really cool functionality to highlight content areas when they're being tested with the VEC. Response tokens. This is new. This is brand new and exciting, where you can see response tokens as part of each update and each activity. I'll show you that, a feed into the blog. And then we made some really cool enhancements to the way the Adobe Target profile is retrieved. We see a lot of organizations are making strategic use of the first-party ID or using the ECID, and so we added some support to bring all that in together. So visit us within the Chrome Web Store. You can download it within here, and here's how it works. Basically, it becomes this little bird. You can open the toggle, close this up or down like before, but then if you wanted to turn it off, you could do that. Another cool feature that we brought in or kind of enhanced on is the ability to block this on certain domains. So simply right click, select options, and you can decide to not have it show for certain domains, like obviously google.com or asterisk google.com, which is a catch-all for any subdomain. It's not going to have Adobe Target running, so it's not going to be that helpful there. So that's cool functionality that you can do if you wanted to kind of limit that. So just as we did before, you can kind of see all of the activities as you're getting into them. You can see all the different experiences, the offers, and just like with Adobe Target Priority, it's painting to the page from top to bottom. So this last activity is the last one that gets painted to the page. So really helpful for debugging. In other locations, this is something that is not new for this release, but something that very, very helpful. So MiaProva is all about the ID, the visitor ID, the first-party ID, second-party ID, Adobe's ID, and then Adobe's Experience Cloud ID. And so we like to help organizations align their program to their first-party ID. But those that don't have the first-party ID passed to Target, you have the Adobe Target ID. So it's one of the cool APIs, returns what activities your visitor ID is in. And so we're just exposing that me, Brian, this first party, this second party ID is not only in all of these activities on this page, but we're in activities on these other pages on the site. Response tokens, this is very exciting and new stuff here. And so you can see here, I got it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 activities. So with each activity, an update within the activity, right? If you've got multiple offers within it, you'll have all the response tokens come back to it. I should probably do a whole thing on response tokens, how helpful they are. But they're essentially your Adobe Target profile attributes, and return to you with each response. And it highlights Adobe's updating the profile values before content is returned and after content's returned. So pretty cool stuff. You can kind of see all of this stuff. It's very, very helpful for those that are using advanced components of Adobe Target. Blog feed, this is new. I'll be honest with you, since this wonderful acquisition by AdSwerve, been kind of busy doing a bunch of cool stuff, but that's going to change. I'm going to be adding a lot more blogs and content, including this video as well, to catch folks up on the enhancements. Other new things here, network, boom, you can see your server calls within here on the page. So if you go to other areas, like for example, let me go to adobe.com, boom. You can see here, no AT.js was detected, so it's loading, boom. This is the Web SDK. So here, this is what I was kind of talking about, where we're highlighting Web SDK requests as well as Adobe Target. So on this page from Adobe, I do not seem to be getting into any activities. But browsing around the site here, so here's the experience link on the site. You can see here, I was like, oh, a little bit of recommendations. Adobe eating its own dog food. So this is actually an activity that's running there. Here you can see that they're using the Web SDK. So this activity is actually part of the Web SDK, part of this response within here. So you can see that proposition display within there, the response tokens, that sort of thing. Pretty cool. You can see some of the different profile attributes that they're doing within there. And then I was also kind of playing around, looking at other areas. I'm a big Cubs fan, and so obviously here you can see that there's no activities via the Web SDK that was taking place, but you can see there's the Web SDK that's there. So there's Adobe there, but not any SDKs. But then I was looking at this. Pretty cool. So I was watching this earlier today, or actually this game is on right now, and I had this in the background in prep to do this webinar. I'm like, boom, look at this, pretty cool. So I'm in an activity on this site, which is pretty darn cool. Cubs are winning 5-2. I got to go the game the other night where they won at the bottom of the ninth, so this is especially exciting. So very helpful utility, especially to see the server calls and the Web SDKs. Sitting where I sit and seeing what I see, the future, and there's a big focus of ours is the Web SDK. So we want to start to incorporate that functionality. And so much so, we have actually embedded the Adobe Web SDK within our MiaProva application. You can see there, we're rendering Adobe Target within there. You can see some of these different requests. And so we wanted to add this search functionality to make it real easy to help the Adobe Target community adopt the Web SDK, something you have to do, you're going to want to do, especially if you're looking at CJA, the real-time CDP, things along those lines. A few other things here. Let me just highlight here. This one is pretty big. I'm going to get into a campaign here. QA equals 1, having a little fun getting into that activity. So you see here these little light bulbs. This is new. Pretty cool. So I'm going to click on that. The yellow boxes. So you can see kind of what is being tested right there on the fly. So you can see here the image, another example of my cubbiness coming out. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We can see all of those different functionality. Here's another cool thing. So obviously we had authentication before. We support single sign-on through our single sign-on service. But let me log in and show some folks here. So in context of where tests are running, we've got real-time reporting using whether it's A for T, non-A for T data based off of journey, what have you. So all of this data here this is the same data you would get as if you were in Adobe Target or Analytics Workspace. So where the tests are running, you can come in here, click in, you can get into the live activity, gets you into MiaProva. You can see some of the alerts that's taking place, a real-time connection to Analytics Workspace, pulling all of that in together. So it's pulling in the latest updates. While that's pulling up, you can see there the lift in confidence levels for all those different things on the fly. Okay, getting back to the Chrome extension. So there's the authenticated component where you can see access to reporting, where it's at. You can upload screenshots in context within here. Something really, really helpful, especially for the MiaProva community that is using MiaProva. And then you can submit ideas in context of where you have those ideas, associate labels, and journeys with them as well. So those are the kind of big updates within the Chrome extension. We would love any feedback or questions or additional concepts you'd like us to include. We'd love to hear it. Like I said, a big focus of ours right now is Web SDK, further enable using the first party ID, so lots of real-time CDP work, and then obviously GA for T and things along those lines. So if there's anything the user base would like, certainly send a note, reach me out at support@miaprova.com. Appreciate you watching.